Account for 32% of Nigeria's current projected population of approximately 177 million as at the end of 2013. This section of Nigerians constitutes a critical and vital segment necessary for the future development of the nation. Investing in young people is the focus of this year's World Population Day, and on this week's episode, we'll look at how the nation is preparing these young people to take on the challenge of national development. Hello there, thank you for joining us once again on the program this week. I'm Gloria Umezuke. Now, investing in young people today by promoting healthy habits and ensuring education and employment opportunities is the best investment in order to improve the lives of future generations. Well, this is the view of the United Nations Population Fund as the world marks the World Population Day with special focus on investing in young people. Well, this week, we'll be looking at how the investment can be made possible by the Nigerian government. But up ahead, find out what life is all about for young people living in Nigeria.
At this point, I would like to
Since 1989, Nigeria has continued to celebrate the World's Population Day with lectures focused on youths who are often referred to as the leaders of tomorrow. One after the other, organizers and resource persons mounted the podium advocating for policies that will focus on youth development. For some, there could be no better time than now for governments to implement policies targeted at youth development.
The country is faced with multidimensional youth challenges, such as unemployment, underemployment, poor quality and access to education. The theme of this year's World Population Day, investing in young people, is indeed very timely and a clarion call to all stakeholders.
This public lecture is coming at a time we think a lot needs to be done in order to place our young people on the right pedestal, in order to enable them attain that self-fulfillment which everybody seeks in life, and in order to enable them contribute their quota to the overall development of our society.
Other officials at the event recommended quality education, healthcare services and provision of decent jobs as solution to securing the future of Nigerian youths.
We know that healthy, educated, productive and fully engaged young people can help break the cycle of intergenerational poverty and are more resilient in the face of individual and societal changes. As skilled and informed citizens, they can contribute more fully to their communities and their nations.
One very important commodity in investing in young people is political will. And as far as I'm concerned, the best indicator of political will is budgetary allocation.
Currently, about 1.8 billion of the world's population are youths between the ages of 10 and 25. More than 50% of this population are either unemployed or underemployed, a situation that experts say is unhealthy. Well, joining me now is Ratidzai Ndlovu, country representative of the United Nations Population Fund. Mrs. Ratidzai Ndlovu, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Well, let's begin now. You're the country representative of the United Nations Population Fund. What is really your assessment of the young people, young population here in Nigeria?
I find the young people in Nigeria a very dynamic group. They are very active, full of energy, and like all other Nigerians, they are very gifted. But there are so many. I won't give the statistics, but there are many. We have a huge youth bulge of young people in Nigeria, which I think should be used as an asset. It should be considered as an asset for this country.
But currently it's not an asset.
We have to invest. We have to invest more. I think the government is putting a lot of effort. There's the youth service, which is a big investment. A lot of other programs are there for young people, but we need to do more. We need to do more for the young people. We need to harness the demographic dividend. The profit of having so many young people who are so gifted, energetic, and dynamic. We should take more advantage of them by investing more in education, health, youth employment, which is already going on, but I'm sure we can do more.
They constitute about 32% from some research done by NACA, and we're wondering what's the implication of having such a huge percentage of youths, especially those, a larger percentage of them are unemployed?
In fact, the implication is it can be twofold. It can be a win-win, depending on what we do with the 32% of young people. If we don't invest well enough in them, it can be a disaster. Because the youth bulge, that's 32%, and as more people join the 32 and it becomes 40% as we move on, when we have a huge adult bulge of those young people who have come up without education, without employment, what kind of a country will that be? Full of adults who are not working, who are not educated, who don't have quality of life.
Like we see in so many communities right now.
Yes, but we have an opportunity to do the right thing.
Are we making use of this opportunity?
No, it can be done.
So really, what's your perspective if you have seen many of the programs that have come out for youths to invest in one business or the other, like the UN program and this and that? How would you assess these programs? Are they really getting to the core?
My challenge is that I think the girl child needs more attention. There are programs, fine, but I think we need to do more for the girl child. Because I think when you look at the girl child, she's disadvantaged more than the boy child right from the beginning. It is the girl child who will be sent for marriage against a wish or a plan. Some of them as young as 10, and they don't even know what is happening around them, and they are sent for marriage. Already you have
Are you
lost...
speaking specifically to the situation in the Northeast?
I don't know about the Northeast. I'm still new, but obviously it's there. But it's also there, I think, in other parts of the Nigeria. Am I right? I'm sure it could be more in the Northeast, but I think it's something general. And sometimes not only for Nigeria, even in other countries. But I'm talking about we lose assets. We lose talented young girls, bright young girls, who could have been great assets for this country. Because they get married when they are so young, against their wish, they don't even know what is happening. No more education. They stop going to school. Even if you want to invest in the young people, the young girl is languishing in a village somewhere, taking care of the old husband, and all the talent that she has goes to waste. So I feel the youth programs should look for the most disadvantaged, most underserved young people, rather than going to those who are easy to get. You go into the city, you go into Lagos, you'll find the young people, and they'll be, I mean, they are already there. Some of them are already educated, they are doing fine. But we have the young people in the periphery who are the forgotten ones. Nobody speaks for them. It is when we go to the harder parts of our programming that will make a difference. If we go to the easy part, comfort zone, we won't make a difference. So I feel my assessment of programs, we tend to target the young people who are easy to get and who are, it's not sensitive, it's not difficult, so we are in our comfort zone. We need to assess, even if she's married, we can advocate that she goes to school. They can still go to school.
This is where we have some challenge, especially in the Northeast.
Yes.
And a lot of people now say, in bid to help this area, that we have some lapse. This is further threatened by the abduction of Chibok girls. So what really do you think about this? Is there any hope?
The solution for the Northeast cannot come from UNFPA. We don't have a solution. The solution should come from the communities themselves. It is the religious leaders, the traditional leaders, the parents who should sit, men to men talk. Perhaps all the men, they sit and say, what do we do? Our children are dying. I mean, I'm talking of, let's say, pregnancy, teenage pregnancy, whatever it is. People should be able to dialogue and say, what do we do? what can we do to support our own children, our own girls, our own young people? Then if the solution is homegrown, it will be more lasting and can be implemented for better results. Then we come in now as UNFPA to support what they think should be done, rather than to come in and impose what you think they must do. So I feel it is possible. We only need to engage the right people, the men in the communities, especially the custodians of our culture, custodians of our religions. These are the people we need to dialogue with. Slowly, we don't force, but we dialogue, so that it comes as a reflection to say, but honestly, what we need for our community is quality of life. Quality of life. Most of the things that UNFPA does is try to ensure that communities, family level, individuals have quality of life.
How can this really be tackled? I mean, we all understand quality of life should be the main thing, and of course poverty has contributed largely to the crisis we're trying to manage right now in Nigeria. Mm-hmm. Well, how can we tackle this? Looking at the UN right now, of course you have some support programs for many of these communities. What have you noticed is the biggest challenge of obstructing, the lifting of poverty from the grassroots?
I think that needs a multi-sectoral approach, because that problem you are mentioning is multifaceted. And the only way we can address it effectively is through a multi-sectoral integrated approach. And I think the UN as a system is trying to do just that. Because what we have now as a UN system, we've put together what we call the integrated support package. It's an integrated support package. Each UN agency has a certain comparative advantage. It can come in with technical expertise or whatever they are good at. Each one comes together, and then as a package, we work on it so that we provide support to communities. Otherwise, we can only do that bit. Integrated support, you have education coming in, all the different social protection, even that dialoguing with, it's not everybody who is gifted in dialoguing with traditional and religious leaders. You select that group or that organization or that agency that has the capacity to dialogue with the traditional and religious leaders. Because I think they are